Right now, everything you've heard is a microphone that's sitting above me, picking me up, and it's driving the bottom unit right here. The the unit is what is this mic, Adam?
Oh, it's a Gefell M221.
Okay, it's a nice sounding microphone, in my humble opinion. It's being used as a distance mic. It's an Omni, so it's picking up all the room tone. Um, You're hearing the control room, the sound of the camera, the sound of the computer, uh, the sound of any fans that are running. That's the stuff that's in the background. If you look at the meters, the LEDs here on the bottom unit, what this is this is the audio. The dancing dot is a VU meter. The lower, the dimmer LEDs are peak meters. And this meter right here is showing the amount of gain reduction that's currently occurring because of the signal. You see it on the top unit as well as the bottom unit because we have them linked on the rear. These are currently set up to be linked as a stereo pair so that the control signal that's derived from either unit drives both units at the same time. If you notice, I turn this off. The signal level just went up in the recording, and we have less limiting, and the meter on the top is still moving the same as the meter on the bottom. And oh, by the way, the signal that you see here is God knows what. The signal that you see here is directly proportional to the position of this. This is the threshold knob. This determines the point that limiting occurs. You can see that at this point in time, if I shut up, we've got limiting occurring just on the background noise. As you can see, we've got 5 dB of limiting based just upon the room tone. So we bring it up here, and now it's picking up the limiting based upon just my voice. And this is what you're hearing. This is the mic pre. This is just a trim that affects the amount of room you have. This is your gain range. You have mic input that'll take anything from a plus 14 signal to a minus 65 signal. And that gives you right here plus and minus about 15 dB of trim. We have an insert chain so that you can insert an equalizer or any other outboard equipment that you want on the rear. When it's inserted, it enables the circuit, and you can bypass it with this switch. That takes it out of the circuitry completely. This switch right here provides phase reverse. This is the phantom power. If I hit the phantom power switch, there'll be a big pop and you won't hear me anymore. This switch right here provides input metering or output metering. When you push it in, it meters the input. When it's out, it meters the output. The next switch over is the gain reduction bypass. Now what this does is this bypasses the gain cell, but it doesn't make up whatever volume has been decreased by the gain cell. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. I just bypassed the gain cell, and so the limiting that was occurring isn't now. Now the gain cell is back in the circuit, and you can hear the difference in the level. This is all limiter stuff. Everything to the right is the limiter stuff except for this knob right here. This knob is the output makeup trim. The way that works is when you're limiting here, like you noticed, we have like 10 dB of signal reduction because of the limiting. You bring up the output here to make up for that 10 dB of signal reduction. You just set it so that when you're metering, you want your peaks to be up around 0, like this. There you go. And that's really the only part of the box that in this area does not relate to the limiting. Here we have a selector switch. That selector switch provides you with presets to allow the unit to emulate other limiter compressors. This was put on because the people that wanted this thing wanted the ability to emulate other units. Personally, I use it in manual mode. The limiter is there just to protect the following gear. It's not to have a sound. You set these controls so that it has minimal impact on the signal. Hopefully, you didn't hear much difference on my voice when I bypassed the unit, and the main difference that you heard was volume. That would be indicating that the controls are set in the right place, the ratio is right, the attack and the release is right. The preset positions allow you to emulate other limiters and compressors like the BA-6 from RCA, the Fairchild 660, the LA2, the Neve bus limiter, or the SSL. There are two quadrants of control. There's the top quadrant, which allows you to emulate those limiters, and then these controls, which is the attack, the release, and the ratio, you can trim the attack time, the release time, and the ratios of the emulated limiter. And in the bottom quadrant, you have fixed, which takes these controls out of the circuit entirely and allows the unit to just emulate whatever's being selected.